Hello, welcome back to some Dark Cloud 2. It's been a minute for me, maybe not for you. I would love to speak in rhymes this entire time, but honestly, my mind will contort like a lime. Lime and rhyme, that's a pretty nonsensical go. Let's just see what happens here. I watched a little bit of the last video, and I kind of just think I'm going through the dungeon. I think that's all I'm doing right now, so. Did I train enough for this area to devastate me? Who knows? Who knows? So I've been taking a step back because of who I am as a person. I don't know about anyone else. I get overwhelmed really easily. Not in like a sense of like social things, like whatever. I'm not really scared of having a conversation or anything. But like my time is really precious to me, which sounds kind of selfish. It's precious to everyone. I stress about my availability way more than most people do or should, or than it is healthy to do. So one of the downsides of that is sometimes like I just, I need a break. I've recognized this throughout my life that whether I like it or not, I am the type of person that is a little bit feast or famine with my productivity. I do a lot. I can get more done than the average person. And I say that only because like I haven't met many people that have also published 7 books. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that. I don't meet other people that have had the creative output that I have had. Project to project to project to project. Especially not without someone else motivating them along, right? But part of that estranged ability, I'll call it, to push myself to do things that the world isn't really asking me to do, is that, ooh, that sucks. The power to do so, that kind of like discipline, willpower, motivation. Motivation's a crap one, but the other two. It doesn't spring from an infinite well itself. And then, we're all in this post-hyper-capitalism crap. And you feel such a incentive, like, at least I do, maybe not everyone does, but like you feel such a incentive to be as productive as possible with every second of your availability. And that's really not a healthy thing, right? Like even with this, right? Like I'm playing video oh crap. I should have took the Medusa more seriously. I don't think I have the oh, what is this? I'm just gonna use it. It's not a great usage, if I'm being honest. I recognize that flat out, but alright. Alright, I have swords. Cool, that's fine. We'll play max a little bit here. Yeah, and even like the desire to try and be productive every single second or do something with every moment, even when you're enjoying yourself, like to commercialize even the pleasure you get out of relaxing. It's such a dystopian way to try and live, right? Like I'm trying to work on unprogramming that. So I took a step back from a few different things because I was starting to feel that like weight of depression, and it was just something worth recouping. I was struggling with doing even some of my regular projects, things like that's usually my like canary in the mine for my mental health, right? Is when I notice I'm starting to like not want to do things that typically make me happy. And so when nowadays when I recognize that, I try and take a step back and recoup or just do what needs to be done. But now, I don't know. I just felt like doing it. And that's usually my sign, like for natural recovery, right? Like when your body is like, oh, I'm ready. or you feel the desire to do something, you let it happen. And that's where I'm at now. It's why we're going through this dungeon. Poison's actually the best, so I'm okay with that. For paint? Come on, I don't care. All right, we do that. All right. I know I have bread as well, but like I have all this cheese, and I'm clearly not using it to go and become a mouse with Monica. So as long as I keep 1 or 2 pieces around for if I decide to even do that. Yeah. Yeah, so I decided to indulge in some projects too, you know? I've been working, gosh, it's silly to say, because everybody, I feel like the most cliche person who works in software ever, right? But I'm working on a video game. It's just a pet project. I went through the process of, well, here, let me give a dev diary. Why not, while we're doing this dungeon? I started off with prototyping in Python, and it was mostly just because, like, well, I know Python. I know Pygame well enough to, like, prototype something. And it's like, okay, well, this makes sense to see if I want to get going. But then I did that thing that lots of passionate people do, is you start the project, and then you kind of, like, go overboard with trying to solve problems. Instead of like changing something at a more fundamental level. So what I did was I kind of got like halfway through building a literary text-based game engine, and I had event handlers and UI handlers and all of these different things to like not just manage the game I wanted to create, but interpret a whole system of information and dynamically display it, and do interaction handling, and do, you know, edge case handling, and also build the UI and all the menus. And I was building a game engine, right? Like that was eventually what it came to a point. And then I hit a point where I was like, okay, well, this is stupid, and I know better, and I should do better if I know better. So I have been in the process of bringing my prototype out of Python and Pygame, which I thought was pretty good. I was like, okay, you know what? I see where this could go. I want to keep on like playing around with it. And now I'm learning Godot 4 and GDS script, because I haven't used this before. But it's like, it's in my wheelhouse. It's similar enough to Python where it's not like this massive departure. And in a weird way, it kind of feels like a callback to what got me into coding in the first place, which is RPG Maker, and well, I think it was originally Ruby was the coding language that RPG Maker used, and then Lua, a later edition, used. So I spent some time with both of them doing like some custom scripting. I think one case was me trying to create a decent fishing system, and then another was trying to do a custom like farming system. So it was like tethered to the passage of time, and then you basically, once that system was built out, it was actually not too bad, because like, and you know, this ruins a lot of things for you when you get into the development side of anything, but you start realizing how much of like a video game is basically just tricks, or the same thing with literally a different picture and some numbers behind it, and fundamentally that's all that's different about it. For example, like when I was building the farming system, you know, you have to set, okay, I have to have a date and time system so that I can have some data to reflect the passage of time. And then I can, you know, once I can capture that passage of time systematically, now I have something to point at and go, you know, if X has happened, or at the start of every day, do a check from when something was planted, how much time has passed, make sure that it's at the right stage of growth for however much time has passed. And then you just have different values of when it changes stages, right? And it could just be as simple as a different picture at every single one, and every single vegetable, even though like when you're living in the game and you're playing the game, There's a huge difference between a apple and a potato or a piece of cabbage. But on the back end, it's just pictures and numbers, right? Like the cabbage doesn't exist. Which, of course, if you've done anything on the back end, that you're like, yeah, no shit, Josh. That's like what a stupid thing to say. But it does, I've had recently a lot of conversations with people who like aren't thinking systematically, and that could be a revelation to the right audience. So humorous as it may be to someone who is more versed in it all. Anyway, so yeah, I've been making a video game, and it's like a text-based game, and I'm trying to bring something unique to text-based, that space, because like I had to think, what is my real skill set? I can do software stuff. I can figure out how to program and make something, maybe not as good as somebody else. I'm not going to pretend to be, and that's kind of my point here. Even if I'm proficient at that, what is my true mastery? And that ultimately, whether it's cocky or not, is writing. That's my true skill set. That's what I practice at. That's what I want to be good at. And it's what I've spent the most time trying to be skilled at. So why would I, put my worst foot or my most acceptable B+ foot forwards when I have maybe only one A+ option to present? Right. I'm just gonna go and fix my thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I was like, oh, let's do a text-based game. Because it seems like a fun way to tell a story. And that's ultimately what I've been trying to do for a long time now, right? I just, as I've mentioned before, I finished a audiobook. And I did the narration, and then I had a whole cast of people do all the voice acting. And I learned a lot from that. No, I'm okay for now. But ultimately, like, the reason I tried to do that was because I just wanted to figure out, like, how can I bring the stories I want to tell to a wider or more dynamic audience? Because the truth of it is like, there's so many good books in the world. We're in an age where, for better or worse, people are shoveling out AI books, and it's a dense market, we'll say. It can be a challenging space to get into. That doesn't really discourage me, because ultimately I'm one of those writers that does it because it independently brings me joy and satisfaction to do. But it'd be incorrect to say there isn't a huge wash of, like, depression or guilt after you finish a book. I don't know, maybe it's post-traumatic creation disorder or something. Not to minimize, postpartum depression, but it does feel like that a little bit. Like, you're like, oh, I spent so much time for this. Is it even good? Could I have done it better? Did I just waste all of my energy doing this? Why do I keep making this choice in my life? I'm gonna have to do this forever now. Like, there's that similar series of like, oh my God, why am I this person? And then, like, there's all the regrets and the what ifs and the whys and the frustrations, and then you're outside of the sphere of the creation, right? Like, it's done. The project is out there. It's complete. And that, you can have nostalgia for what got you into the project, and that nostalgia can mislead you about why you made the choices that you made, right? All I'm saying, oh, geez. Yeah, those things are tough. I kind of saw that I was getting killed, but whatever. Oh, okay. Well, they're just... Okay, well, lesson learned. Oh, I already got the stone, too. Yeah, so anyways, finishing a project is tough, so it's after finishing something as well, I'm always a little bit more susceptible to like exhaustion, which definitely happened, and it's fun to, you know, change things up. It helps with that as well. I really do, and here's one of the things, I need to finish my trilogy of books. I've had the first two finished for a while, and I just need to get out there and finish the third one. I know what it's about. I know how it goes. There's like 4 or 5 chapters in the middle where I'm like, I'll figure it out when I get there. But everything else is completely plotted and planned and ready to go. I just need to physically do the work of rereading my originals to make sure my memory is right, and then go ahead and actually do the writing and finish it. Always a challenging prospect, but it's so easy to get distracted too with the idea of doing other things. Like, you know, video games are fun. I'm going to try and like bring mini games into the text-based kind of thing I'm building. And part of that is like just to, I don't know, break it up a little bit, see how much fun I can add. And the idea of like making a game that I want to play is, of course, really fun compared to like working really hard to write a book that like nobody's gonna read. It's the eternal challenge of being a modern author, being really any author other than like the gleaming 10% that have such a tremendous success. You want nothing but that. Did I get the pearl? No, I don't think I did yet. And that's why it is so important to be internally satisfied with creative work, because if you're seeking external satisfaction as like your fuel, I feel like that is a very challenging route to go without inviting some pretty intense internal struggles. Maybe that's just me. Maybe, you know, more other people are hardier, but I couldn't, if like that's what I needed out of creativity, is to be constantly, or you know, given high levels of accolades and to be acknowledged. Oof. I don't know if my mental health could tolerate what you get as an author. Either way, so video games, that's been something I've been doing. And then I decided as well, I've wanted to put together a server and a home lab for kind of my whole life, you know? I always thought that'd be something that would be really cool to do. And there's a lot of things that kind of made it feel like it was out of reach, so to speak. Ah, shit. Ah, that's not what I wanted at all. But I finally decided to do it. So I did. I perused eBay. Ooh. Sought the best I could, a good deal. Missed the first one and was intent on not having that happen again. So I pursued what I ended up getting. So I did a fair amount of research, and I knew I was going to go enterprise or near enterprise level, but I also knew I didn't want the size of something like a Dell PowerEdge, you know, like a full stack server. I didn't need that. It wasn't going to do what I wanted to do. And it was going to do it at a power draw that, like, I don't want to contend with. You know, some of those machines, they're so thirsty for power. And depending on what you're going to do, their idle rates are just ridiculous. You're going to spend more than you're going to save, even if you're self-hosting all the stuff that you want. So I went for a Lenovo ThinkStation. I got it for a really good deal, and I'm super pleased with it. Because these things are, they can be, you know, in Canadian, $2,000-$3,000 machines. And I got mine for a couple $100. It looked like I was either straight out of refurb or new in the box, because it still had the stickers and the power buttons and everything. I felt spoiled. I've never had an enterprise machine like that. So I did all the work that I needed to do, you know. I've set it up using my preferred Linux distribution. Well, you know what? I'm also testing, but I'm using Ubuntu server. I'm aware of other options, like Proxmox or whatever, but I wanted to use this as a baseline for my home lab. And also, modern Ubuntu server is really, really efficient. I idle at 1 to 2% of my CPU utilization. Temperatures are amazing. Everything I want to do is working really, really well. And I also wanted to, you know, try to build things from the ground up in a really efficient way, because I work, again, in the world of software, and then there's always downsides to enterprise systems, legacy systems. There's things you can't change. There's things that take a huge amount of momentum to change. There's things that you have no chance of getting people to stop using. And, oh, okay, I can't use the ride pod here. And the potential to, like, build a home lab from scratch and get that foundation, like, really right was half the fun. So I'm ridiculous with security. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not. I have everything pretty much locked down to a local network, and then at home I'm running a subnet, so it's not even like it's locked down to my main like Wi-Fi, or it's not even that. Like the router that I'm getting through the ISP. Now I'm running a subnet, and that's what local access is on. So there's that like extra physical layer of access issues and security. But then beyond that, you know, failed and ban, geo-blocking, the whole 9 yards to try and just like cull the mess that is the open internet if you're running a home lab. Now, one of the things I've been doing, of course, is like, you know, Minecraft for some friends and stuff like that. All my news and stuff is now on my server. I love medical journals, so I have an RRS reader that automatically downloads all the journals that I want to be reading and gets a copy for me, and I can just read it at my leisure, and it backs up everything. And I'm going to be hosting my comics soon for friends, and I'm pretty excited about that. Just because I have like a bunch of digital books, a bunch of old comics, rule books, magazines, all this stuff that I've been hoarding for years. And I both want to be able to read it easier by like streaming it to myself from my own service. And it would be fun to share it with people, right? Be able to like, hey, you know, check out all of these old Spider-Man comics. Because I've preserved all of the original Amazing Spider-Man runs. I have like this old disc that went around, and I ripped that years ago. But, you know, it's great to have all that stuff. I have, this is ridiculous, almost every single DC comic digitally, just over years of collecting and like building up archives. I think my cutoff is somewhere around 2021. So I'm not like, you know, that being said, I have been buying the Absolute comics. So, you know, if I haven't ranted about those, I definitely recommend. I need to go like buy some bread and stuff here. Yeah, but home server has been fun. It's been an enjoyable experience to do that. Like finally feel like, you know, I'm allowed to have such a luxury of something like that. And I have a lot of like paranoia about computers or any machine running 24/7, right? I've had an apartment fire. There wasn't any fault of mine. It wasn't even there when it happened. But it did mean I went to the wrong place to buy bread, right? Or she's still here. I don't know. But after you've had an apartment fire, you're really paranoid about having anything on all the time, especially if you're leaving the house. So it was definitely a challenge for me for the first few weeks of having this server running 24/7 and not feel like it's going to blow up. The fact that it like almost never gets above 30 degrees because of the ridiculous like turbine cooler in there has helped alleviate my concern immensely. And the fact that, you know, the ThinkStation line is built for 24/7 operation, much harder than I'm pushing it to, right? So it's been a really good machine. I've been really, really enjoying it. I get my final SSD to upgrade the machine hopefully this weekend. I'm thinking I'm going to get it. Because, like, I've been doing all enterprise level storage, right? So I have a WD Red Plus drive that's going to go in. And then I'm going to get a WD Plus SSD. So I have an HDD for the majority of the comics. And then I'm going to do an external one-to-one mirror that lets me, you know, always have that backup. So I'll always have like an external drive, and then the live comics will go to that HDD, and it's like, that's an 8 terabyte drive, so there'll be tons of room to grow from there. And then I'm throwing in a 2 terabyte WD Red Plus SSD as well on top of the HDD. One, just because I have the other slot in the machine, I might as well fill the slot, you know? I don't want an empty port if I have the SATA connectors for it. And second, storage is one of those things you regret when you don't throw it in. Excuse me. So I've kind of just become one of those people who, crap, I didn't repair the thing. Oh, well, I have the gas, right? That did it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so, you know, 8 plus 2 for 10 terabytes is just... It's a pretty sustainable amount considering I already have another terabyte in the machine. And then it's going to give me 11 terabytes total, which compared to like some data hoarders is nothing, right? And I totally get that. I'm not trying to be some massive data hoarder. I'm not trying to run a Plex or Jellyfin server. And if I was, I could expand this with an external hard drive bay, or picking up a NAS that plays well with Linux. There would be options there to expand based on my system exactly, but that'll come in time. That'll come in time. Folks rush. I like to see stability prove itself a little bit before slapping on an extra $1,000 of crap. Because that's one of the downsides of enterprise gear, right? Is it ain't cheap. If you're used to just like buying a new 1 terabyte drive for your personal computer, and then you compare it to buying something that you want to be running 24/7 reliably, there's definitely a premium. Oh well. It's all good and fun. And then at the end of the day, right? Like, what? Am I gonna let myself die having just never done... Oh, shit. I didn't realize that thing hit so hard. All right. Damn. All right, whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't think I can do anything about him right now. I don't have an item to revive, so I'm just gonna like do my best. Jeez. All right, yeah, so I've been thinking as well, beyond all these projects that I'm talking about. I have no doubts I'm gonna finish Dark Cloud 2 here. But I'm kind of like chewing on, what do I want to do after? You know, I've typically done a lot of Monster Hunter games, and I can't deny that that is probably the most like successful content on my channel. But it's weird. I'm like, I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to play something older. There's a part of me that wants to, you know, try my hand at video essays in do less regular releases with kind of a denser through line, or a thesis, so to speak. Oh, I don't know how to fix that. Okay, this is poison. All right. I mean, I don't know how to scale what's going on in Dark Cloud right now. Like, things hit relatively hard, but I can deal with them relatively easily. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Do I have the thing to leave? No. Okay. Gosh, okay, you know, another thing that's really sucked lately too is it's getting to that summer season, this gross time of the year where everything's so hot. And I just deal with the heat really, really bad, so it's always like not very tempting to sit in a hot room. But it's kind of cooling down now. I'm going to improve the fan that points in my face too. I'm a Noctua fanboy, literally. But they have this like stupid overpriced desk fan, and I cannot stop my desire to get it. And it comes with like this fancy fan front that directs the air right at you. And I would love that. I have a nice window fan. I just bought a new one for the office. But we're having wildfires right now, so it's not like I can bring in cool outside air, because it's gonna, you know, smother my computer and give me 10 different types of cancer. So that sucks. That looks cool. Is it better? Attack 24. No, but it looks cool. Please drop what I need. Please. I've also, you know what? Okay, so I've been in between games, right? Like, I've been thinking, if I just took a break from Monster Hunter and went back whenever I felt like it without pushing myself to do it if I'm not ready for it, what would I want to play? And, like, the answer I keep on coming back to is Parasite Eve. Or just start going through Final Fantasy games. Because I kind of, like, I know this is maybe not the best thing, but it's nice to play, like, let's play a game that has a lot of story. Ugh. Okay, I hate everything about this. Or just, you know, explore maybe something that I haven't got to explore in a while. Like, this happens all the time. Like, you know, you see people who haven't played Final Fantasy growing up, and then they see maybe some of the modern games. They're like, oh my god, when did Final Fantasy become a sci-fi series? And it's like, you know, how to out that you have never played a Final Fantasy game without saying it directly. Because even the very, very, very first game ends with a bunch of sci-fi stuff, right? So it's one of those series that is interesting because of the misconceptions around it, how much content there is sometimes. But I don't know, for better or worse, sometimes I, you know, want to streamline or have a bit more of a power fantasy than you can get with some older games. And, you know, while I'm enjoying going back to play Dark Cloud 2, I'm having a tough time debating, do I like it as much as I did in my memory. And I think one of the things that, like, even for Dark Cloud 2 kind of gets in my way of truly enjoying it is I like standard leveling systems too much. And the fact that I can't kind of like just brute force my way to success adds this level of like stress. But as silly as that is like, oh my god, okay, I have to do so many things, I have to do them in the right order, and then and that weighs on that part of my brain that's like counting every minute free time that I have. But it all comes back full circle, right? Why is it that I need to be so efficient? I had a meeting today where I learned like the process of another team, and I wasn't expecting it to be like as bad as it was. So I like had this flabbergasted, like, there's no way that we do, no way, that can't be the case reaction, which is always great. But it was just like one of those things that when people tell you they do it, you're like, no way, what? That, no, we're fixing that. Oh no. Oh well. Yes, get glitched on the wall. Find death. I just want to get out of here. It sucks that I've had to like actually fight things to the last man here. You know what, as well, I'm reconciling to the fact that like I only really like classic JRPG style dungeons if I have a fast forward button. You know, like when you like turn-based battles are really convenient to fast forward through. Here's the ghost show. I've been playing a lot of video games. That's part of my de-stressing protocol. One of them is Star Ocean Second R. And I've gone the path of completely breaking that game almost immediately after entering the open world. So I'm like at the level that some people finish the game at. And I've just finished the first dungeon and I don't even have a full party yet. Or if I do, I'm like just getting the full party. But one of the things that I really like about that game is, yeah, you can kind of just like grind a little blindly without feeling like you're doing some massive discredit. Ah, crap. Or that the game like supports that power fantasy a little bit. It's been a really good time.
Looks like we got them all.
Okay, well, maybe I'm just like crazy. Okay, I just got it. I was gonna say I didn't think I got it until like the very end there. What the heck is that? Oh, it's a Svita. I don't know. I haven't really played your Svita. I don't care right now. Do. Yeah, but I definitely like, as an example, so I've been enjoying Star Ocean Second R, but it's mostly because like I can power through the dungeons, which I generally find. Yeah, I'm kind of finding JRPG dungeons a little bit weak nowadays, and it makes me feel bad because I was trying, and I'll probably maybe go back and finish it. I was playing the most recent Dragon Quest game, right? Whatever it is. Is it 11? I think it is. So I've been trying to get through that, and I'm a decent way through, but I don't enjoy the dungeons. So I just kind of like blitz through them or grind them a bunch and then leave. But it's such a part of the game that I feel kind of bad just skipping through the content effectively. It makes me think, like, shouldn't I be playing something that I'm inherently enjoying a little bit more? Or the big parts of what's going on bring me more joy. So I kind of dipped out of that. I've been playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's pretty fun. Although, I'm glad that this game lets you be a little bit more of a rebel, because, like, in the first game, Henry, your protagonist, is a very devout Christian. He still is, kind of here. But you can, like, push back against that a little bit more, push back against the lords a little bit more. And that's great, because I would have been so dead in a medieval system. Like, if you start throwing that 3 states of man thing at me, bro, I'm not making it to that end of the conversation. The idea that some people are inherently worthless and deserve to, do menial tasks and labor in service of better, just inherently better people is nonsense. I hate that. And I wouldn't be able to stomach it. So Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance 2, I've actually been playing a somewhat brutal version of Henry. I'm like actively executing every noble I find on the road. If I have any story opportunity to go against a noble, I can. You have a main like ally in the game at the start anyways, and I've just disrespected the hell out of him for his snooty crap attitude. Like, I don't care. I love it. And it's fun when you get good enough to be able to like push back against those things in the game. Can't do it in real life, but find enough place to practice. How tough are you, Captain? Yeah, you're all right. Cool. Paint, why would I ever... All right, I'm going to turn up my fan. Apologies if it's loud. I'm just warm. It's getting hot. And again, like I said, it's smoky, so I can't even like pipe in fresh air. I hope that goes away tomorrow. I have a D&D session, and you know, I'm wearing like my big headset for hours and sitting in a room with like my desktop computer, kicking out hot air. Oh, yay! So it really sucks when I can't have like some fresh air coming in or doing something like that to make it a little bit better. Oh, crap. Oh. Yeah, and I've never had air conditioning. Like, air conditioning to me is like impossible rich person crap. You kidding me? Like, never in my life have I ever lived somewhere with air conditioning. You kidding me? Oh my god. What a luxury. Like, whew. Like, okay, this weekend, for example, I got really sick. And part of the reason I got sick, like nauseous, was the heat and the smoke and stuff like that. But it was also that I had to spend time in a car. I had to be in a car, and this is gonna, you know, really gonna show how little I do it. I had to be in a car 4 times over a period of 3 days for less than 30 minutes each time. And my stomach was screwed all weekend. I'm like a peasant who's not used to going that fast. It totally, like, with the heat and the smoke, I was dead. My stomach was turned. I got out of the car looking white every time. I was supposed to, like, try and do some driving lessons for myself because I'm trying to get over my hatred of cars to learn so I can go camping. And I just wasn't able to do it because I was just so like sick of them and being in them, and it was awful. Like, you talk to the average person, they might get into a car 4 times or more a day, right? I'm just one of these like weirdos that doesn't live that way, that doesn't see car usage as normal. So it's definitely it's really tough for me to spend time in them. And like, I kind of need chauffeur level driving. If I'm being honest here, if I ever got rich, right? Like if I had money from my writing, or, you know, became successful enough in my career to pay for a chauffeur, I would do that over a lot of basic other things. I wouldn't even learn to drive if I had the option to just have someone take me everywhere. I have no shame in that. I have no interest in driving myself anywhere. The fact that I have to is just like the most ultimate of concessions. That there isn't like a better method or path or option or affordable alternative. But if I could get a chauffeur, self-driving car, I don't even have to sit in the front. I don't want to sit in the front. I know a lot of people prefer that. I don't. I want to be in the back, the furthest away from whatever we might be crashing into in front of us. I don't know, man, but yeah, like, yeah, that goes to show, you know, where I'm at with luxuries. Even just being in a vehicle makes me sick because I'm so not used to it. There's so many other things. Unfathomable. Which is, again, why I've been so excited to have this server. You know what does piss me off? It's kind of random, but so is everything I talk about, so whatever. If you're still here, I'm allowed to talk about it. Is laser hair removal. You know, I know it's kind of odd, but I always like the way people talk about laser hair removal is always like this, oh, it's so expensive. Oh, I do it, but it's so out of reach. Oh, if I was ever rich, I would do it. And I just, you know, I got in my head that it was some sort of like inaccessible luxury, like some like insanely expensive service that only 1%ers can access, that to even consider, to even get in the room, you need some, you know, $500,000 a year income plus. And then I look at the prices, right? Like I'm thinking, okay, it's like $2,000 a session with a probably $1,000 consultation, you know, the whole jam. Just thinking of like what it should cost. And I look at a few clinics around me, just as it came up in a conversation, and it's like $150, $200 a session. And I'm not saying that's not, you know, a somewhat sizable amount of money. It's a couple $100, but it's only a couple $100 for gosh sakes. You know, I thought it was going to be like some like sending yourself out to the moon type of cost, you know, like you're putting a down payment amount of money to take some hair off your butt. But in reality, it's just like, you know, whatever, like $150, $250 a session. Follow-ups are like $60 to $70. Whatever. It's like, what? Bro, I've had tattoos that are more expensive than that. What type of crap is this? So I was really upset about that. The slander of luxury. And don't get me wrong, like I've talked a lot about it a lot. I don't consider myself somebody who's come from wealth, even if I have over the years tried to like earn my own little bits of luxuries. But there's like how, you know, lacking access to funds do you have to be for like $150, $200 to feel like inaccessible luxury? And that's why I'm like, I have this theory that laser hair removal in the industry in whole is really suffering from like propaganda or some sort of, you know, intentional effort. Is this thing open? No, okay. That's to like misrepresent the reality of what it costs to do those things. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that like, you know, razor companies and these types of things were putting significant money into the myth of laser hair removal being exorbitantly expensive, so as to keep people from even looking at clinics, to make people think that it's this inaccessible service and that all of us peasants have to, you know, rely on just shaving it off with a piece of sharp metal. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I just like, I have this feeling that like maybe that's relevant. Oh well. I got time to do one more. Alright, cool, some story. Awesome.
Oh, what's all this? It's one of those murals called Moon of Destruction. They discovered a whole bunch of them in my era, too.
Moon of Destruction.
They show an imaginary world where the moon comes crashing down, destroying mankind. Nobody's been able to figure out why there are so many of these things, or what purpose they served.
Wow. What's the point of so many murals, all exactly the same?
Maybe the ancient people were trying to tell us something with these murals.
Tell us something?
Oh, I don't know. It's just a hunch. Something about them makes me think so, I guess.
Whoa!
Shingala?
Shingala, stop!
Look, there's something on his head.
What is it?
I think I know what it might be.
How? Shingala, what's going on? Shingala, stop it!
It's no use. Look at Shingala's head. There's some kind of device there. I think he's being controlled by it.
Huh? Look out!
Ah! He's not gonna listen to us.
Shingala! Run for it, pal! What's happened to Shingala? He doesn't recognize me. It's not that. You saw the strange device on his head? I'm sure that it's controlling him.
We've got to think of some way to get it off of him.
Maybe the people at Luna Lab will know a way.
Yes, exactly. They might be able to help us. Let's go.
All right. To Luna Lab, which I totally know where it is. Actually, well, no, that's... Is that the future area here? Right? Yeah, I think it's the future area here. So I guess we'll go do that. We'll start next episode. Thanks for checking out this episode of Dark Cloud 2. And we'll see you around next time. Bye.